Let's break down the Season 5 teaser trailer.
Found you.
What's going on, guys? I'm Chris, and welcome back to another video. So today, I am breaking down the Stranger Things Season 5 teaser trailer. It's finally here. I reacted. If you missed it, it's linked up above. I was physically shaking filming that video. It felt surreal, and I feel like every time we get a new piece of footage, and then obviously the episodes when they drop for Season 5, it's not going to feel real to me. They call this a teaser trailer. It's 2 minutes, 35 seconds. This thing's meaty. There's a lot to break down. Let me just tell you, there's lots of detail packed into like 0.25 seconds of every single frame. Before I get into this though, be sure to hit that like button, comment down below your thoughts on this teaser trailer. What are your predictions? What are your theories? I want to hear all those and more down below. And of course, subscribe and hit that notification bell to help me reach my goal of 150,000 subscribers here on the channel. I mean, quite a bit. And if you like this Stranger Things content, you want more similar to it, as well as extra live streams, Patreon is the place to be. Any support over there truly does mean the world. Without further ado, let's dive in frame by frame, raw stuffer photo dump style for those of you that have been around since 2024. There's a lot to discuss. Let's head into the Upside Down.
Let's end this, kid.
So the opening shot of the trailer is actually Steve, and we see him in the WSQK radio van, the squawk, if you will, and he's adjusting the satellite of the van while he's looking at the decibels meter. Then we actually get a shot from the outside, seeing the van satellite being adjusted. We're parked outside the WSQK radio station, and boom, the Netflix logo pops up. We know WSQK is going to be a major location, and so this is fitting to open the trailer here. Then Steve drives away from the radio station in the van. We see Lucas and Mike riding behind him on bikes, and Elle actually standing behind them as they leave. Very clear they're about to enact what seems like an early part of their main plan to maybe take down Vecna in the early goings. Then we actually go inside the WSQK radio station, and we see from left to right Nancy, Robin, Elle, and Will panning over to see Joyce by the radio with the comms as she's communicating with Mike, who starts a countdown via the radio saying, "Burn commencing in 5, 4, 3, 2, and..." So we don't know if he gets to 1 or not. I'm assuming he does, but something could definitely go awry before that happens. It's Stranger Things. All the while, we see Joyce looking concerned, along with Nancy and Robin also looking on nervously. Then we see Elle and Will share a nervous glance. I think it's interesting that both Elle and Will are sort of stationed at the radio station, away from downtown Hawkins, away from the gates, for probably multiple reasons. Number one, to keep them safe away from like being taken by the military or government, but also away from Vecna because they don't need to be there, especially if Vecna can maybe sense them or read that they're nearby. But as Mike counts down, we actually get a shot of Lucas. He's up top somewhere. We don't know where he's at exactly, but he's looking out, he's got binoculars on, and he's counting down with his hands. And it seems like this is after he and Mike leave the WSQK radio station on their bikes. We see, Lucas wearing a camo bandana. It's very season 2 coded. On top of that, we actually got this photo of Mike and Lucas, and they're riding on bikes in the same outfits. And so it seems like this is immediately after they depart the WSQK radio station, like I said, in the early goings of Season 5. We then cut to some lights flickering in a room that looks like a shelter for Hawkins locals, maybe even an emergency bunker of sorts near the military base, because remember, we saw these being constructed when production was ramping up back in 2023, which was even before filming started up. They were doing this on like a backlot somewhere in Georgia. There were some paparazzi photos that dropped. The flickering lights mean we all know what's coming. Something's coming from the Upside Down, and we see some random kids, but again, they're not gonna be new characters in my mind. This is just showing the innocence of like the Hawkins locals and what's at stake here in Season 5, like whose life's really on the line. It's these citizens of Hawkins. We get a quick shot of my boy Hopper, the man himself, saying, "Come on, come on."
Come on, come on.
In all likelihood, he's somewhere near where the plan's about to be enacted. We then cut back to Will, Nancy, Elle, and Robin, as well as Joyce back at the WSQK radio station. The lights are flickering, and Elle looks concerned, meaning it might not be her that's causing this. It's the presence of something or someone from the Upside Down at the WSQK radio station. We get a shot of Will's neck tingling, signaling that he senses the presence of Vecna or a creature from the Upside Down. And if you look in the background of the shot, we can see what looks like 2 other students walking behind him. Kind of had me thinking this was Hawkins High School. But if you zoom in, those actually might be 2 of the new characters that we see Mike hopping in front of in the To Doom date announcement footage, whose names are up in the air. Then a quick shot of the decibels going up is shown yet again. And that's actually a recurring shot throughout this entire teaser, the decibels getting higher and higher until they eventually reach 100. So are they going to be blasting sound throughout this antenna or doing something with a signal that's really loud and maybe damages Vecna or the Demogorgons. We know that decibel meter reaches 100, but they could crank that thing even higher. Kind of made me think of the symbiote from Spider-Man 3, like how it gets agitated by loud ringing noises when the pipes clang together. Maybe noise damages the creatures from the Upside Down as well as Vecna. Food for thought.
See you, chump.
This November then pops up, which to me signals that this trailer is mainly showcasing footage from Volume 1, and Ross Duffer in his Instagram post when he actually shared this teaser, in his caption he said, "Don't worry about spoilers, this teaser pulls from every episode except 7, but it's mostly Volume 1 and just barely scratches the surface." Now, Episode 7 is called The Bridge. Could this be a major lore reveal episode about the origins of the Upside Down that's also VFX heavy and so not a lot of work has been done on it yet, meaning they wouldn't have it ready to put in the teaser? That's kind of my train of thought, but also that penultimate episode of the entire show, and of course season 5, has me thinking it's going to be too critical to really show too much from this early on in marketing, at least. Next up, we got a shot of a helicopter and military trucks driving. We see Mike, Will, and Holly, of all people, riding on bikes. To me, they're clearly heading into downtown Hawkins, but Holly being there begs the question, is this before or after her vanishing? We know episode 2 is the vanishing of blank, and most of us have already deduced that it's probably going to be Holly Wheeler who disappears. So would Holly be involved with the kids before or after this? It's a good question. The immediate next shot shows the military presence in Hawkins. It's no joke. I've been talking about it all throughout 2024, how it's going to be ramped up. This teaser fully displays that. There are actually barricades blocking off where the rifts came together at the end of season 4, right outside the library in downtown. So at this convergence point, it seems like there's going to be a lot of action going on in season 5. Another thought I had was, could this be where Dr. Sam Owens is posted up throughout the season, because we know that character is likely going to make a return. We get more of a close-up shot of this gate on the side of Hawkins Library, which again is essentially the main landmark of Hawkins, but it's also a significant location in season 1 because it's where Will is found in the Upside Down by both Hopper and Joyce. I sense some sort of lore drop incoming by the Duffers that'll leave all of our jaws on the floor. You might want to get your tissues ready for this next shot, because we see Dustin kneeling down at Eddie's grave. "Burn in Hell" is painted over the grave, and if you'll remember, this is one of the first paparazzi pictures that released back in January of 2024, but now it's official, and we actually see that Eddie is confirmed to be 20 years old when he dies. Rest his soul, but cheers to super duper seniors as well.
I think it's my year, Henderson.
Max is still in the coma as we see Lucas by her side. He grabs her hand and we see him crying. I'm not prepared for what these two have at stake. If Max ends up biting the dust, it'd rip my heart out, and I'm assuming everyone watching this video. All the while, the voiceover from none other than Jonathan, who wasn't even in the To-Doom date announcement footage, is happening. He says, "After all we've been through, this thing, it ties us together forever." We then get a quick shot of the decibel meter going up again. They're cranking the sound up for some reason. Two people in suits burning a gate with flamethrowers are shown, which calls back to Mike's line when he says burn commencing at the beginning of the teaser. So could the continued plan of the city of Hawkins be to just have burns commence over the course of the time jump to try and slowly get rid of this stuff, and then something triggers it and brings it back to like full strength, leading to Vecna's return? We'll see. Jopper supremacy. We get a shot of them in what looks like Hopper's cabin, or potentially the Byers' new home. I'm kind of leaning Hopper's renovated cabin here, as the last time we saw that, work was starting to be done to improve it as it was damaged severely. But are the Byers staying with Hopper? It would make sense considering that they don't have that house in Cali anymore, presumably, and they might not want to buy a new house in Hawkins. So we'll see if their OG house comes back into the fold or not. Next up, we get a shot of Dustin, Steve, Jonathan, and Nancy outside of Hawkins' lab in the Upside Down and looking up. This has all the feels of like a final shot of an episode to me, and it essentially confirms the shot of Steve and Dustin from the date announcement at To Doom is in fact inside of Hawkins' lab. Then we get a shot in action of the OG kids putting their hands together to break down and what seems like, say, go team before a final mission. However, it does seem like Dustin was a little hesitant at first to put his hand in the middle, so I'm kind of thinking, has he been distant post Eddie's death? Maybe his friends moved on from Hellfire Club, but he stayed to lead the pack. We do see him wearing rings to represent Eddie though. RIP to the man. Malevolent Nation rise up. Because next up we see Mike and Elle sitting next to each other. Elle's actually in a wetsuit and it looks like she's about to go into a bath, much like in season 1 or even season 4 at Surfer Boy Pizza, likely in order to go into the void and locate someone or something. In fact, it looks like they have a bath built in at Hopper's cabin for this reason specifically. But it was always Mike and 11. These two are on the poster together, they're in the trailer a lot together, they've been a foundational relationship of this show from the end of episode 1. That's kind of been made clear when they lock eyes in the rain. So to me, it only makes sense they're going to be a romantic relationship here in the final season as well. Then we actually get to see Jonathan and Nancy face to face. They're in the Upside Down somewhere, and this is where Jonathan finishes the quote that was playing over top of the teaser up to this point. Nancy's in tears, and there's clearly a sense of impending doom in the air. Maybe not for their relationship, but certainly for the fate of Hawkins and everyone around them. But let me tell you, Johnny Boy Jonathan Byers is in trouble. More on that later. 11 is then seen putting a bandana over her mouth. Is she in the Creel house? She could also be elsewhere in the Upside Down. For example, where she is in the shot of the behind-the-scenes teaser where she kind of comes around the corner and hits her iconic pose, but she's somewhere in the Upside Down. This next shot is perhaps the most fascinating of the entire teaser, so buckle up. We're very clearly in the Upside Down. We see a Demogorgon climbing a tree, and it's chasing after someone. Red lightning flashes in the sky, but who is this someone? Well, if you want my honest opinion, I think it's Will Byers. I know it's dim, but it kind of appears as though a young kid is wearing jeans and a puffy jacket, just like Will was in season 1 when he was taken to the Upside Down. And to back this up, we actually have a shot of young Will in the behind-the-scenes teaser trailer from last July, wearing the same outfit Will wears when he's first taken to the Upside Down, and he's actually falling next to a tree that is identical to the tree we see the Demogorgon climbing up in this teaser. Throwing it back even further, the opening lines of the script for season 5 tease Will flashbacks, and my running theory forever has been Will has these memories somewhere, he just doesn't remember them. But over the course of season 5, he'll remember them via a series of flashbacks that actually connect to the present day threat. So there'll be a nice narrative parallel connecting the two until Will ultimately has this revelation in present day time that he has powers and he remembers them. Physical powers, that is. On top of that, the poster we got yesterday actually has some red lightning flashing in the top right corner over Vecna's head. Some people were saying the lightning resembles the silhouette of a young kid. Could this be the silhouette of Will Byers? It would further display that deep connection between Vecna and Will that Will currently has no memory of, but I feel like we're in for a classic Duffer Brothers retcon regardless. We get a shot of some military guys walking through doors. There's flashing red lights. This is likely wherever Elle and Hopper are during the Tudum date announcement. And the person leading the pack is actually actor Alex Bro. And we get our first glimpse at Linda Hamilton's character. Finally, she's wielding a pistol, looking like some military government figure as we all predicted. And the next shot gives us even further confirmation that it was Elle and Hopper looking at the wall in the Tudum date announcement, because we see the two of them walking in the Upside Down, looking up at something, and then we get the shot of them from the Tudum date announcement again, looking at the wall. Now, my running theory is that the barrier between the Upside Down and Dimension X is this wall that we see, but it could also just be the edge of the Upside Down in Hawkins. Whatever it is, it looks sick as hell. Next, we got Nancy and Jonathan in the Upside Down. They're looking at something above them. It almost looks like a gate opening, but it could be some entirely new function of the Upside Down that we as the audience have no idea of yet. Like I said, new lore incoming, folks. Dustin and Steve are in this car looking on at something. Could it be the previous shot of Nancy and Jonathan? Or maybe they're looking at the money shot of this teaser that I'll reveal later, but it looks like they're looking on at some sort of fire or explosion based on the lighting. It's illuminating their faces, and they're kind of horrified, or at least petrified in fear. Elsewhere, we have lots of demo dogs roaming around, and to me, that means there's gonna be a lot of action in the season in order to take down these creatures. And every time I see Demogorgons, Demodogs, whatever it may be, I think of the Demogorgon Hunters. That'd be a sick reference to actually pull into this show. The shot that follows shows Demodogs rounding the corner as they approach none other than Lucas holding Max, and she still looks unconscious, honestly. Like, she's probably still in a coma, but I'm thinking Demodogs got loose in the hospital, and so Lucas had to move her from the room she was in, even though she's still knocked out. But my friend and fiance pointed out it's very Jurassic Park coded, and I'm here for that. We're back with the same shot of Hopper and Elle from the Tomb date announcement teaser that we got on May 31st, where there's red flashing lights all around. I'm still thinking that's the military base. Soldiers are actually seen firing rounds inside the military base, and some of them are already dead on the ground. But the next shot actually shows Hopper and Elle taking cover from bullets, and now I'm trying to think of the geography of the scene, where characters are located. Are Hopper and Elle taking cover from Vecna or Demogorgon that's entering the right side up from a gate behind them, the gate that we see at the library? Are Hopper and Elle in the line of fire? It certainly seems like it. Or, hear me out, they're actually in the Upside Down, and the bullets are going from the right side up to the Upside Down because they're behind the gate right now. It's gonna be so well shot, I can't wait to see how the Duffers craft that scene, or whoever directs the episode. Calling back to the previous gifts from a long time ago, we get a shot of Steve driving his car with Dustin, Nancy, and Jonathan through a gate of sorts. We don't know where they are, but this could also be the tunnels from season 2, maybe new tunnels. Imagine they're driving under the rifts though, or on the rifts. That would be insane. Joyce is wielding her axe yet again, and this time we get to see what's behind that barn door. It's none other than a Demogorgon, and it can't go wrong with this classic creature from Stranger Things. Plus, it's the most realistic, right? I couldn't imagine Vecna or any other new, more powerful creature coming through that door. We've seen Demogorgons are killable by human hands. Hopper did it with a sword. Joyce wielding an axe could do some damage. Demogorgons are not unstoppable, whereas if it was Vecna, everyone there would be toast. Will is then shown collapsing in the WSQK radio station, perhaps because he's overexerted himself using his senses, or he's just gained physical powers for the first time, or dare I say, rediscovered them because he's had them all along. This could also be as a result of Vecna finding his way into Will's mind and playing tricks on him or messing with him. Either way, Will Byers is far from fully safe based on this shot, one we'll talk about later, and of course, the run moment from the To-Doom date announcement. Next, we see Nancy pumping her shotgun with Jonathan next to her, and again, they're clearly inside of Hawkins' lab, shooting at a Demogorgon, I assume. A Demogorgon is then shown jumping on the Bradley's Big Buy 18-wheeler, which we know Murray and Robin have been seen driving from official set pics, and I'm thinking this is probably because they're transporting Elle maybe into downtown Hawkins because we know she's wanted or at least missing. The government definitely wants to find her. Could be that. Holly and Karen are still in peril, just like in the To-Doom date announcement, except this time we see them underwater. Are they hiding from Vecna? Seems like they're inside the Wheeler house here, but neither of these characters are safe. Robin is then seen outside the WSQK radio station looking up at the tower part of the station because the shadow monster version of the Mind Flayer is seen wrapping itself around the tower, perhaps to disrupt a signal that's being spread and possibly causing damage to itself, so it wants to stop that. This next shot, scariest hands down in the entire trailer, has me fearing for someone's life. We get a shot of Nancy washing blood off her hands. She looks like she's crying in the mirror. Is Jonathan in trouble? We don't see much of Jonathan Byers here in this teaser. Will Byers is seen sweating intensely as though he just used some powers for the first time and outright exhausted himself. Where is he? I can't really tell, but hey, me and Will are like twins right now because I'm sweating as I film this video. Steve's embracing Dustin inside of Hawkins' lab, with Dustin crying. Now, why is Dustin upset? Maybe he had a vision of Eddie as a result of Vecna playing mind games on him, but at the same time, Steve could be embracing him because he just witnessed the death of a character like, say, Jonathan or Nancy. We know in Season 1, Ep 1, Dustin is a little smitten for Nancy, and that continues as they dance together with the snowball. What if she bites the dust? And Dustin is devastated. Steve is there to comfort him. Whew. Another thought I had that's a bit darker, what if Steve has to make a sacrifice play and that's their final embrace before he goes off into a gate or whatever the hell it may be and makes the sacrifice? I don't want to think about that. Then we see Hopper and Elle in the military base. Hopper's packing heat. This is actually the same shot that was released after To-Doom, and it looks like them gearing up to head into the Upside Down where we see them at that wall. Hopper delivers my favorite line of the whole trailer. It's when I got the most pumped in the reaction. I almost jumped out of my damn seat. He said, "Let's end this, kid."
Let's end this, kid.
It got me hyped, and it felt very Avengers Endgame. I know you guys hate sometimes when I make the Marvel comparisons, but it's true. Endgame was like the end of an era. This is an end of an era. Show's been on for nearly 10 years now. It's very near and dear to my heart, so it just got me pumped. It felt final. You can actually see Elle in her helmet from earlier seasons when she goes into the sensory deprivation tank. And prior to this, Hopper says, "Wherever this blood leads, I need you to fight one last time." This dialogue kind of felt like it was cut together from different scenes, if you want my honest opinion. A lot of trailers tend to do that, but regardless, I love those lines. Then we cut to what seems like a different part of the show that's not related to the Hopper-Elle conversation, where we see Elle getting into a bath, likely to go into the void. And I think this is going to be following up the conversation that she has with Mike. What follows is like this rapid fire set of shots that are like 0.2 seconds each, so I'm gonna run them down. Hopper's with 2 grenades and he throws those things. Badass. And it's likely the same spot from earlier when he's with Elle and there are bullets behind them. A Turnbow real estate sign is then shown exploding. This is again probably a different shot, not where Hopper threw the grenades. Also, the Turnbow trap is the name of episode 3, so could this be in the 3rd episode? Is Will Byers getting Vecna'd? I kind of joked about this. I made videos saying, is Will Byers gonna die? I never thought he'd get Vecna'd, but we damn sure see that here. He's looking up, Vecna's hands are around Will's head. It looks like Vecna's got like these different claws now and the makeup's more enhanced, like he's more demented and messed up. I can't wait to see the full reveal that's teased at the end of this trailer. We get a quick shot of Holly in a new outfit we haven't seen. So is this before or after she gets taken, if she is the one vanishing? We get a shot of Lucas with blood on his shirt. He's looking up at something. Who? What? Whose blood is this? Is he in a tunnel? Is Max in trouble? Lots of questions surrounding that. We get Murray and Robin. This new duo I'm here for. Murray's alias is seemingly Austin. That's the name on his jacket, so I'm sure we'll get some great comedic bits out of Murray there. Then you see Steve driving through a fence en route to potentially tunnels or a gate. He's got the antenna in his car, so that's going to be trading places between the van and his car a lot, it seems. We get this random shot of the military characters running through the woods. Nancy and Elle are together, seemingly at the Wheeler trailer house. Nancy's got a shotgun. They could very well be pulling up to save Karen and Holly from Vecna. And Elle has a hood on, which means she probably snuck into Hawkins incognito, or at least the inner parts of Hawkins, because she's missing and probably wanted by the government, like I said. But it's nice to see this duo finally get some time together. I'm here for that sister relationship. Then we get someone's hand. It looks like they're at some control panel of sorts, or like a radio station. Could this be the Shock Jock? We know that's the name of the 5th episode title, so this could be the hand of a radio personality or host that we don't know yet who used to run the show at the WSUK radio station. Just a thought I had. The decibels continue to rise. All trailers, we see them going up again. There's this insane shot of Will's eye. It's an extreme close-up, and then we zoom in to the tunnels, where it looks like we see Lucas at the back of the pack as well as Erica, and there's another kid who's kind of hard to make out there. Erica's holding a syringe in the next shot for God knows what reason, maybe to take out a demo dog or something. Elle is running and jumping in the junkyard from season 1, and I was like, is this low-key a training montage for 11? The decibels continue to rise. We finally get to see what burst out of the panel at that one military base shot from Tudum. It's a Demogorgon, so classic stuff. We were thinking it was going to be a dragon or a bat or Vecna. I thought it was going to be Vecna. It's a Demogorgon. Still cool, but a little tamed down. Someone yells, "Watch out," and I'm thinking it's Mike, likely before jumping in front of the group of kids at that shot we see from the Tudum date announcement. We then see Joyce looking up at something, seemingly with an injured Will beneath her, or he's just fainted after using his powers. All the soldiers look dead in the background. Mike is seen looking on in fear, and we actually can spot in the background that he's outside of Melvald's, so they're right by the Hawkins library in downtown Hawkins that's near the military base. Then we get the final 2 money shots of this trailer, Vecna's return. We see Vecna walking through a gate like it's tearing open for him. I'm thinking this is going to be the gate at the library. 100 decibels are then reached, and Vecna says, "Found you." We then get the money shot of his new look. He's sticking his hand out and there's fire all around, but honestly, it looks like he's combating the flamethrowers. Like he's gotten stronger and is stopping the flames from hitting him, almost like he's using the damn force. And you could spot a Melvald sign, so this is all in downtown Hawkins, and again, it's likely what Mike and Joyce are looking at here. The gate opening to Vecna's return. But there was tons of stuff to unpack in this teaser. That's just my initial breakdown. There's going to be lots more to talk about in the coming days, weeks, months, years, if you know, you know. But we also got some official stills that I'm gonna speed round through. We got Hopper posted up sniping, probably Demogorgons. What a guy. We got this shot of Jancy, and it's kind of scary because the two of them so happy together makes me think one of them might not be making it out. We got another shot of Holly in the outfit she's wearing when her bedroom lights are flashing, making me think this is right before she vanishes. Mike and Lucas are on bikes after leaving WSQK. I talked about that one earlier. Out with a bat, in with a chainsaw, because Steve Harrington's rocking a damn chainsaw. I'm so here for that. Give me that Funko Pop yesterday. Are Will and Robin a new duo? We got more of Linda Hamilton's character. Is Mr. Clark coming back? Well, this picture of Erica in a classroom is apparently Mr. Clark's classroom when compared to this shot of the main kids in Mr. Clark's classroom in seasons past. Give me more Mr. Clark, baby. And finally, we see Elle in the bus from the junkyard in season 1 and season 2 with a bandana over her eyes, likely going into the void. So we are going to be revisiting various iconic locations, not only from season 1, but from all seasons past in this final season. Whew, but guys, that does it for this season 5 teaser trailer breakdown. That was a lot. I'm sweating. You might be able to tell. I don't know why I went with the crew neck in the middle of July in Georgia. I'm a madman. Maybe I just want to feel the heat, kind of like Vecna at the end of the teaser. But what do you guys think? What's your take? What's your breakdown on this teaser? Let me know your theories, predictions, thoughts, all that down below. And of course, hit that like button. Subscribe to that notification bell to be notified for all my future Stranger Things videos and movie reviews, all that good stuff. I'll have more content coming in the coming days, so be on the lookout for that as always. And if you want extra content, Patreon is the place to be. But that does it. Thank you guys as always for watching, and until next time, I'll see you on the other side of the Upside Down.